Alright, welcome back to another Mechlab Monday. This week we're doing the Outworld start. So, advancing a day to get our soldier loot cache, and let's hope we see some C3s, some ECMs, maybe even a probe or two. That's a lot of double heatsinks. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 double heatsinks. And no kit to use them with. Armor-piercing AC-20 ammo. I'm really not a fan ever since they reduced the damage dealt directly to internals, so to even kill a low-tier tank, you're probably going to need 2 shots or follow up with SRMs or LRMs with tandem. Not great on its own. We did get a mask, which is interesting. Again, I say again, you may not have seen any of the other videos, but mask is fine early game as long as you don't have ammo in the legs, because even with the fail chance, you can still use it. And just if it fails, it damages the legs. So, useful. We got ER large, that's good. Streak 6, hopefully we have ammo for it. We have tandem SRM ammo. Lots of LRM ammo. Mortar Inferno, SRM Artemis, which hopefully we have the Artemis fire control system to use it with. UAC-20 double bin. I doubt we're going to get a UAC-20, but if we did, that's 6 alpha strikes with it. Thunder Incendiary. Yes, drops mines that do heat damage more so than real damage. It's interesting. UAC-10 double bin is actually all you need. Gives you 12.5 alpha strikes. LK SRM ammo, good to see. Don't need anything other than SRMs to use that. Rack 5 caseless is enough to run a rotary 5 if we have one. Then we have Chaff, Deadfire, AC-10 double bin, way overkill. UAC-5 safe, sure. Heavy Rack 2 safe, sure. Incendiary machine gun is actually interesting if we have other incendiary weapons. We have an MRM-40 and 30. If we have ammo, that's cool. Probably don't. AC-20 precision, I do like seeing that. If we happen to start with like a hunchback or something, that's beautiful. Rack 2 incendiary, okay. SRM counter missile, very useful, actually. Especially early game, because since they deal 6 damage to missiles, each SRM can counter 1 missile. And it's an 80% intercept chance. So, very reliable counter anti-missile countermeasure. Especially useful against things like Thunderbolts. UAC-10 caseless, sure. More UAC-10. Yeah, if we get a UAC-10, that'd be cool. HVAC 5, ammo, lots of ammo. Not seeing a lot of weapons, which is unfortunate. Mortar 8 and a Mortar 2, so we actually do have the makings of a mortar build. I think we had mortar ammo, but it was only Inferno. Which, actually, Inferno mortar with incendiary machine gun rounds, that's enough to actually overheat somebody. I think we also had incendiary something else. Whatever. We'll see. More AC-5 ammo. He's LB-2 ammo. UAC-2. Yeah, we did get an LB-5, which I think I saw ammo for. Yeah, LB-5 slug. It's not as good as cluster. Early game, you really want the multiple damage instances more so than the single big pinpoint. LRM-5 machine gun heatsink. Okay, that's not great.
Check out this mech bay, Commander. Pretty great.
Irby Lamb. Immediately, we're not going to be able to modify it basically at all, since lambs largely use, their own stuff. I mean, we could immediately just drop the Death from Above gear. Keep the Talons, because once you use your Hellfire and your Inferno bombs, you are going to be kicking, generally. So the extra damage really does help. And then with that tonnage that we freed up dropping the Death from Above stuff, we're going to add just actual armor. I don't really like the compact heatsinks being in the legs. So, do that. Get 100 on the front, 70 on the sides, 50 on the arms, since those are the only weapons we have once we drop payloads. Actually, could we just completely max armor with that change, with dropping the Death from Above stuff? We actually can completely max armor. Yeah, sounds like a plan. Alright.
Right. I'll get it in the schedule.
We got the classic Commando 2D, which is actually amazing. First things first, we do not need 2 bins of SRM ammo. Second things second, we have LK. Boom. We just gave +1 accuracy to the majority of the damage. We also have Tandem, which is interesting. So that's up to 40 damage dealt directly to internals. Is that enough to warrant it? I don't think so. I think I'd rather have the armor. So go up to 50 on the sides, 70 in the center, and then 50 on the leg that has the ammo in it. Something like that. Although, actually, I think I'd rather have full armor on the leg that has the ammo, because ammo explosions are devastating to light mechs. Well, they're devastating to every mech, but especially to light mechs. So, something like that. Yeah. There we go. There's our commando.
On it. I'll let you know when that's done.
Didn't even have to look in the store or anything. The Dervish is the classic LRM-10s, SRM-2s, and 2 medium lasers. Usually, I would pull out either the SRMs or the LRMs, but actually, I have an idea. In the store, not that much interesting. There is an SRM-6, which we could have put in the commando, but there's an exchanger. There's just an exchanger. All right, and a heat bank. Okay. Now we're cooking with fire. I mean, gas. Yes, that. Thermal mass activates when above 40 heat, minus 54 heat per turn when active. Okay. But more importantly, we're going to pop in here to the Dervish. And we are going to replace the SRM ammo. So we're actually going to, I think, keep the SRM-2s, because we don't have Streak 6. If we had Streak 6, or Streak ammo, I mean, I would probably put the Streak 6 and the SRM-6 from the store in. But we're going to drop the jump jets, and we are going to put in a bin of SRM counter missile. So now, these SRM-2s are not actually SRM-2s. They're SRM-4 intercepting missiles. Actually, maybe I do buy the 6 out of the store. Hold on a second. Store. SRM-6.
New weapon systems available.
So drop the jump jets. Drop the SRM ammo. Drop one of the SRM-2s to upgrade to an SRM-6. So now we can intercept 8 missiles per activation. Mind you, that's per activation. Good stuff. That'll actually intercept a lot of early game LRMs. Save us from a lot of damage. And the SRM counter missiles actually protect your entire lance, not just the mech they're on. LRMs, we do not need 2 bins of ammo, and actually I think we have specialist ammo. We do, but we don't have the Artemis fire control system. So yeah, no, we're going to just keep 1 bin of regular LRM ammo. Go ahead and keep it in the same site as the SRM counter missile. Alright, and then we armor up. So I think we go, yeah, something like that. So we go 90 on the primary arm that has the SRM 6. And the heat efficiency is not great. So we're going to toss in, I think, just the heat bank. Because the SRMs are only going to generate heat if they intercept missiles. So I think the heat delta of 10 is fine. We got the LRMs to actually lay down fire. Oh wait, no, that's 2 LRM-10s. So that's actually 20 missiles per shot. That's only 6 alpha strikes. So we do need a second bin of ammo. Or a double bin, which is even more shots. Yeah, how do we do that then? I really like the idea of the counter missiles. I mean, I guess we could strip armor back down. Or we could drop a medium laser. And yeah, we ended up not getting any MRM ammo. That's a pity. MRMs are nice. I mean, we could just downgrade the SRM 6 back to an SRM 2. It'll still intercept a lot of missiles over the course of a battle. But with an SRM 6 and an SRM 2, it'll intercept just about every missile. Early game, at least, when people are running LRM 5s and 10s and SRMs. I mean, we could drop a medium laser. Not great. Not great. Yeah, let's just drop the SRM 6 to the SRM 2. And that'll actually also give us another ton for... what? We don't really care about other... I mean, I guess I could bring actual SRM ammo as well. In case the SRMs aren't needed for countering missiles. Sure. It does do that weird range thing I don't like, where the maximum range is 360 and the optimal range is 420. So you end up in the minimum range 180 by the time you're in the optimal range for the SRMs. Which basically means you want to dance around between 180 and 360 meters so that you can use everything, and it's fine. It's completely fine. Alright, and then we have a spider and an assassin. The assassin has LRM 5 with swarm ammo and an SRM 2 with LK ammo. Yeah, no, we're not doing that. We are instead... Again, I would absolutely... Wait a second. Oh, right, we ended up going with the SRM 2 for... Yeah. Okay. So actually, instead of replacing the LRM or the SRM 2 with an LRM 5, we're going to replace the SRM 2 with an SRM... or LRM 5 with an... Oh man, too many numbers. LRM 5 with an SRM 6. And then we're going to keep the LK ammo. Drop all the jump jets so that we can actually armor up. And have a good time doing it. Yeah, this assassin has like no armor by default. Oh boy. Get some back armor in there as well. Something like that works. So the left side is largely just a shield side. If we had Pharaoh, Indo, and MRM ammo, this would absolutely be an amazing boat for the MRMs. But this is what we got.
Right. I'll get it in the schedule.
And then we have the Spider, which we're probably not going to field. 2 medium lasers, a bunch of jump jets. And those jump jets are just going to be traded out for armor, I think. Arguably, one could replace the medium lasers with the ER large and a heat sink. So then we'd have a heat delta of 3. And a large laser, so this thing could run around the outskirts. But instead we're going to go the backstabby brawler route. And we're going to add a bunch of armor everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. Try to max the armor we can. And if we're getting in backstabbing positions, we might get backstabbed ourselves. So, a little bit of extra there. And then one more tick on each shield arm. There we go. Not great, but it'll soak a lot more damage than it could have with all the jump jets.
I'll let you know when that's done.
Alright. And that's, yeah, that's the work orders. Pretty straightforward when you have very limited weapon systems and very limited ammo for the weapon systems you have.
Commander, the Argo may not be fully
Definitely not on a 9.5 skull planet. One skull. Oh, right, also. Hi, almost forgot. Hiring hall. Astrid, ex-military, mech warrior, criminal, dishonest, merchant, gladiator, noble. Not terrible. Gladiator would actually be pretty interesting on the Irby, since it is going to be kicking.
How's it going?
Here we have ex-military, spacer, commander, technician, dependable. I mean, commander is good for the lance resolve, and dependable is good for preventing knockout or punch out. Slippery. This pilot is difficult to catch. +2 evasion generated. +1 max evasion. -1 accuracy. -1 defense. Excuse me? 3rd Star League founder. +1 lance resolve. +1 morale. +1 initiative. Disgraced. +1 ECM shield and probe. Officer. Okay, yeah, we're just gonna grab them.
Available.
Nice to see you
That's-
down here in the hole.
That's interesting. No, not command center. Navigation. Yeah, those missions are way out of our league. So we're gonna go that way.
Roger that, Commander.
Looks like we've arrived, Commander.
Check out the store, see if there's anything of interest. Nope. Nothing of interest. Oh, right. I forgot the absolute first things you should always do. Repair power conduits, Mech Bay 2. Every start of every playthrough ever. We just wasted so much time traveling without having that started. Whoops. It's fine.
Those upgrades you asked for?
Yeah, it
are
figures
online.
I finally remembered to do the hiring hall before traveling, and I completely forget about the mech bay. So, yeah. No Solaris 7. So yeah, the mech bay getting up and running is very important, actually. Because these mechs are taking way longer to build than they otherwise would have. Just out of curiosity. Yeah, it's fine. Alright,
Hey boss, we've just completed those upgrades.
and now we swap those. And we go to engineering, and the next thing you always want to get is enable second repair bay to work at 100%. Haha.
It'll take a bit, but we'll get it done.
Yeah. We wasted so much time.
That work order's complete, boss.
So yeah, now in
Not
2
much,
days,
if I may say so.
we would have already been done for several days if we had done that from the beginning. Whoops. In any case, before we hop in the command center, actually, let's look at this hiring hall as well.
Good to go.
I'm here.
Ready for orders.
I'm receiving you.
And ex-military mech warrior honest, We're gonna go ahead and pop in the barracks, give everyone 1 gunnery, 1 tactics.
Training complete.
Orders.
Every single person, 1 gunnery, 1
Mech warrior
tactics.
training complete.
That is the highest accuracy you can get with starting stats on mech
Training
warriors,
confirmed, Commander.
Receiving you.
if they have the points.
Training complete.
The +1 to sensor rolls, in addition to the +1 base accuracy,
Got something you want done?
pretty good. Pretty
Mech
good.
warrior training complete.
Commander. Standing by.
Yeah, we have a lot of people that actually cannot be upgraded. But here's the thing. The Reckless alone is basically +2 accuracy, which is actually better than +1 gunnery, +1 tactics. So, I mean, debatably, if your tactics roll is too low, you will get the penalty of 5 for no sensors. But the difference between Tactics 3 and Tactics 4 is really negligible compared to just +2 accuracy against anyone who has evasion. So,
Waiting for orders.
because of that, we are definitely going to use... Well, let's just pop right in the command center, look at a mission, and... Assassination sounds good. Let's do a 1.5 skull assassination. Alright, we're definitely bringing everything that we can, which is going to actually be the Irby and the Commando, I think, instead of the Spider. And we have a cargo truck with 2 Rocket Pack 15s. Yeah. Alright, so... I think we're gonna put Jinxed on the Commando. Disgraced, ECM Shield, and Probe is going to go on the Irby. The Irby already has an ECM, so it'll stack with that a little bit. That'll be good. And then, let's see. Ex-military Brave Commander, Mech Warrior, solid. And... Kraken, Brave Assassin. Assassin doesn't really come in early game, but later in the game it's quite good. And Slippy, I mean, is definitely going to go into something. But what? We have the Officer, +1 ECM Shield and Probe, +1 Lance Resolve, Evasion Ignore. I think he's going to take the Dervish, actually. So if the Dervish is able to bring everything online, I think it has the highest Alpha Strike. We didn't use our Exchanger. We have an Exchanger we didn't use. Wow. I am not with it today. And honestly, the only thing that needs the Exchanger is the Dervish. Alright. There we go.
Logged and noted.
Wait the 1 day.
Shouldn't be too hard.
Job's done, Commander.
And what was I going to do?
Commander.
Back to it. Yeah, Dervish with Slippy. Assassin, we hadn't figured out yet. Irby with Face. Commando with Commander. A cargo truck we hadn't figured out yet. So now we're looking for the Assassin, which is just SRMs and medium laser. So... I mean, Commander and Brave are really good. Ex-military and Mech Warrior aren't really applicable that much on the Assassin, but, I mean, the +1 initiative does help. And these guys don't have Like, the only way I would choose somebody who doesn't have 4334 over somebody that does is if they are reckless. I think that's the only thing that really warrants it. Also, if we were paying attention, we should have actually... Oh no, Face doesn't even have Gladiator. Never mind. I was going to say put one piloting on whoever was going to be on the Irby, but never mind. He doesn't have Gladiator. It's not that big of a deal. I mean, if he misses a kick, he will still be unsteady. So it's not great. But one piloting wouldn't make that big of a difference. So, I definitely want Brave on the Assassin to reduce the chance of Punch-Out. So I'm going to go with Bear Claw, and then Kraken is also Brave, so less likely to punch out from the Rocket Techie. Sounds good to me. Let's go. Alright, here we go. Starting Lance, 1.5 Skull Assassinate.
Command interface initiated.
Let's see how we do. Alright, there's the target. That target looked like a light mech. We can drop on its flank, but we cannot drop anywhere in this vicinity. So I believe there's going to be a support lance here. This is the edge of the map. And yeah, again, we cannot drop in this vicinity. So it's definitely a lance in front of it, and then the priority target. Although it concerns me a little, I also can't drop over here. So there could be 2 supporting lances. I'm definitely going to drop on the side with the target. And I'm going to drop, hopefully, not in rough terrain, so that we don't have the stability penalty. Because getting knocked down before you take your first activation is rough. It is a Jenner. Should be a quick, easy kill. Out of curiosity... Yeah, okay, so our missiles are in counter missile mode. He fired 10 missiles and we intercepted 2 of them. Again, if we had the SRM-6 and the SRM-2, we could have intercepted 8 very easily.
Yep.
But it's fine. So, without running through the rough terrain, our commando can actually get a decent shot on the Jenner.
Going full throttle.
It's a good start. And indeed, there is a support lance here. There's a Clint, an Irby, a Commando, and a Locust. But yes, it's just one lance. It's just very spread out, so that's good. We should be able to handle this, no problem.
All weapons, fire.
Our primary target is taking damage.
And naturally, whatever damage we can do is exceptional.
Ready for orders.
So the one thing to keep in mind with the SRMs is if you fire them AMS mode, they might jam. And I think here, actually, I would rather have the AMS still active and potentially intercepting 4 missiles rather than firing the potentially 40 damage. Especially since my hit chances are pretty awful. Alright. Locust making its way toward us. Not too concerned. It probably has machine guns and a medium laser.
On my way. Double
Alright,
time.
getting the Assassin in with its medium laser and SRMs.
Locking in all weapon systems.
Another 16 damage. Slowly but surely, we are whittling the Jenner down.
Receiving you.
And then here's our Lamb.
Throttle down.
Now, I really wish I knew exactly what kind of Jenner this was. It is a fully missile Jenner, so I don't think our Infernos are going to do a lot. However, our Hellfires are going to do quite a bit. And we're going to put our medium lasers first, so that hopefully they open the armor a bit so that the Hellfire missiles can crit.
Roger.
And that's a kill.
Target.
Yep.
Eliminated.
Ammo explosion. That's exactly why I put the medium lasers first. Urban mech with an AC2 and a PPC.
Damage is minor, Commander.
Alright. Okay, light PPC. Interesting.
Minor damage.
So, light PPC on the Clint.
Standing by.
And that seems to be the only weapon it fired. We are going to go ahead and use the land bridge, I think, so that we can keep our evasion up as we push towards them. Going with hit chance here. The rocket packs have, I believe, 5 shots? Yes, 5 salvos. That will be plenty.
Aye, aye.
Just pure volume of fire.
Receiving you.
Alright. And the Irby can go over the water without any loss to its accurate or evasion. We could potentially also jump, but it will generate heat. It'll also generate 6 evasion, which is pretty good.
Aye, aye.
Alright. Yeah, and then we can't fire our lasers at all. So we brace. Drop the bar of stability damage from the jump, but the Irby should be very well protected. It's guarded, it has 6 evasion. It hopefully will focus... like I was about to say, it'll hopefully draw the focus of our enemies, and it did not. They are instead shooting at the rocket techie. Okay, there we go. Yeah. Moving the Irby to the front was mostly a measure to try to draw fire away from everyone else as they push.
No shooting, just running. Got it.
Alright, I actually don't know if any of these people have missiles. Yes, the Commando has missiles. It's an R2-D2. So I have no idea what kind of missiles it has, but based on the fact that it has D2 in it, I'm assuming possibly a pair of SRM-6s. And we're just going to go with hit chance here, which I'm pretty sure is Irby.
Roger.
Yes, boss?
Commando needs to reposition to get in range to fire anything. Oh no, it's the Assassin. The Assassin and Commando are very similar builds, so they're going to be spending a couple rounds pushing and just trying to get within range to shoot anything.
What do you need?
Yep, Commando, same thing.
Bugging out.
And as far as our Irby Lamb goes, I think we need to figure out who has the worst heat management. So we've got a PPC on the Irby. The Irby is generating some heat, so we could probably shut him down pretty easily with our Inferno bombs. At the same time, he's going to be the easiest to hit most of the time. Actually, no, I take that back. The Commando has a very similar hit chance to the Irby. Actually, it has an identical hit chance. Alright. Commandos don't have the most armor, so it's a very valid target. Alright, turn 15. Here comes the Clint back out in the water. And exposed structure on the Commando. I see. I didn't realize the Commando had been hit that much. Actually, wait, the R2-D2 might be a Quickcell Commando, in which case it might be streak, quote, streak, SRMs.
Waiting for orders.
Which use double the ammunition, but only fire, or only... No, because he missed. Never mind, it's definitely not streaks. Otherwise they would have all hit. Yeah, I don't know. He's a big question mark, so that's a very good reason to destroy him. Anytime you don't know what you're up against, very good target. Because it's always the things you don't expect that will kill you the fastest. They really like the rocket techie.
Ready for orders.
Alright, and pushing again. I think again focusing the Commando here.
Confirmed. Fire.
And once the Commando's down, we can actually switch. There we go. Commando's down. So we'll be able to switch from AMS now to actually dealing damage. There is a missile weapon on the Clint, but that's it. So,
I'm here.
alright, and we actually have our right arm open on the commando.
Let's move.
Not great, but it's fine. I am actually going to fire past my assassin here, in part because the assassin has plenty of armor left.
Standing by.
Roguetech.
Got it.
Just trying to keep as much evasion as possible, and we're going to focus fire the locust here.
All weapons. Go.
So again, the Irby is going to drop its heat payload onto the urban mech. Oof. The PPC finally hit.
Receiving you.
Alright, so yeah, we could go into the back of the Clint or the Locust, but I think the best use of the Irby is going to be overheating the other Irby. Yeah, that's heat.
Aye, aye.
Alright, Commando. Pushing for 4 evasion. Unfortunately, they are to our right side, so we are at risk of losing the arm pretty easily.
All weapons. Fire.
But the easiest way to control a target is to just kill them.
Oh yeah, you got it.
If you could just take somebody down, you don't have to worry about them shooting you anymore. And yeah, I'm fairly certain that is the medium laser machine gun Locust. And the machine guns are actually quite dangerous since the commando's arm is open. We don't want to lose the SRM-4. Okay, Locust doing nothing. Beautiful. And again, we're going to actually switch over to LK. Again, it's jammed because we were using it in AMS mode, but next round we'll be able to actually fire regular missiles. And yeah, going with hit chance against the Clint. Our Irby will be able to keep the Irby overheated for, I believe, 3 more rounds. I think it's, I think the Inferno bombs are ×4. Yeah, I really need to get the Commando into a position where we can pivot and the right arm can be away from the enemies. I'm gonna go ahead and... I was thinking sprint for 4, but actually moving for 3 gives us the best hit chance. So, we're just gonna move. Drop some more heat and damage onto the Irby. He's stressed, he's overheating like crazy.
Standing by.
And our Commando cannot actually... Okay. Our Commando is going to go into the water in part just so we can pivot and show our fresh side to the enemies. That's the Assassin, that's not the Commando. Well then.
Alpha strike.
I'm just not on my game today.
Ready for orders.
Alright, Irby. I think we're just going to keep playing, you know, going around in a circle, getting the evasion we can. Maybe even more, yeah. Maybe we'll go for 4 evasion here. Or just 3. Yeah, 3's fine. Just continuing to overheat the Irby.
On it.
Alright, side torso down, PPC destroyed, punching out. There we go. Irby has been controlled. But yeah, Clint's in the water, so he would have been a terrible choice for the heat. Commando taking a beating like a complete champ.
Standing by.
Absolute champ. The Dervish. So now we want to play the range game. That thin stripe there, that's the area where the SRM and LRMs will be effective. It is a very thin stripe. And I think that puts the Clint into it. We don't get any evasion, really. Well, I say that. We get 3 evasions somehow, but... The primary thing is that we're doing solid damage to the Clint. And it is a quick sell Clint.
Reporting. Critical. Standing
So, now we use the Commando. Again, put the fresh side towards the enemies. Which hopefully prevents us from losing the arm and thus the SRM. Alright. After we take down the Clint, as long as the Locust is in the Commando's fresh side, we really have nothing to worry about. especially if he's not even shooting at the commando.
Receiving you.
And honestly, the Irby is going to be best served just rolling over here to the Locust and dropping whatever it has. Locusts don't exactly have armor. Yep, there's a side torso gone. Side torso popped, 1 injury.
I'm out of short-range missiles.
Commando. Again, keeping fresh sight to the enemies and firing on the Clint. Alright, Clint has lost his primary weapon.
Got past the armor.
Or should have, actually.
Commander,
It is an armless Clint.
consider me there.
And that's a hit chance and a half. For the kill.
Hostile removed.
Easy.
Standing by.
Yeah, the Dervish can get a slightly better hit chance by moving to that exact spot. And the Locust probably dies.
Firing all weapons.
No, surprising. Locusts usually have armor about equivalent to toilet paper. Or tissue. So I'm actually quite shocked that that number of hits did not generate any kind of massive explosion.
I'm here.
Commando cannot actually get line of sight. So we will reserve.
Receiving you.
The Dervish can get obstructed line of sight in a couple of different places. So I will choose the one that is shooting through our Irby the least.
On it.
Just avoiding any stray shots that might make things go south really fast.
Ready for orders.
And our Irby will go ahead for a kick. Because, yeah, the lasers are both in its arms. There we go. And that's the power of melee on your first mission. Panic rolls against melee hits are quite hard.
Mission
And when the
successful.
enemies have very low pilot or guts, it's very easy to get them to punch out. Alright, so easy money. Very little damage. Again, the Commando took the hits like a champ. We might have lost the Rocket Techie, but that's not a huge loss. And yeah, we could get 4 Clint parts, 3 Irby parts. The bolt-on rockets are actually very interesting early game. If you have the carrying capacity, and you have nothing else in your support slots, it's just a free weapon. Takes no tonnage, generates no heat. That's an SRM-4 Valiant. Extra crit chance. That's just a straight upgrade for the Commando. C3 unit, always a grab whenever you're in the early game, and that extra plus 1 sensor ping to every enemy in the 210 meters is the equivalent of giving every single mech warrior targeting that enemy plus 2 tactics. C3 units are very strong early game. Quicksell Probe King, terrible. Speedy leg actuators I'm actually fond of. I'm actually quite fond of, because when you're dealing with light mechs, the evasion's the only thing keeping them alive. They do not have enough armor to actually sustain a lot of damage, so I'm actually going to take one of those. If I had Pharaoh or Indo offered, I would definitely prioritize that over any of this, but having what I have available. That being said, that is LK LRM ammo, but I would rather have the double bin than 1 bin of regular, 1 bin of LK. Because even though the +1 accuracy is nice, having more shots is more important, since early game you're going to miss a lot. So if you're against mechs that you just can't hit, it's better to have more shots than it is to have slightly better accuracy on those shots. At least in my theory. So we got a bunch of parts, machine gun, engine core 60, jump jets, jump jet light. The light jump jets are only really good to toss in if you just have spare tonnage, or if you specifically just want to be able to jump up and down by like 1 hex, just up and down elevation. Then the 0.75 jump capacity doesn't really impact you much, but otherwise, the fact that you're paying half the tonnage and getting 3/4 jump capacity is fine unless you're going for an actual large jump, in which case the fact that you're limited to the same number of quicksell light jump jets as you are regular jump jets means that you're limited in how far you can jump, and in most cases with a 0.75 jump capacity, your sprint is actually going to give you better evasion than your jump and not give you the bar of stability. So there are times to use them. They are not frequent, and they are not great. We only got one of the speedy leg actuators, but that's fine. We did get this quicksell structure, which is a way to reduce tonnage, but it also reduces structure points. And that's when you're dealing with mechs that have 30 structure and 30 armor, losing 25% of your structure is a quarter of, well, not a quarter, it's an eighth of your total ability to soak damage. It's fine on heavier mechs that have, 4 times the armor that they do structure, but light mechs generally have about as much structure as they do armor, so not a great upgrade for them. Deadfire ammo is interesting. Period. Alright, so minor repair bills did not lose the techie, and the crew compartment did not get hit, so our mech warrior, or our pilot that was in the rocket techie, did not get injured. Beautiful. Go ahead and wait for everything to finish.
That work order you submitted?
Welcome to the grease pit, Commander.
And as I said, just the first thing immediately is the SRM-4 Valiant into the Commando just gives it double crit chance with those 4 missiles. Straight up upgrade. And the Commando only has a 2.5 ton carrying capacity, so it cannot use the bolt-on rockets.
I'll get it in the schedule.
However, I'm pretty sure the Irby does. No, the Irby has the Lamb hardpoints. He cannot use it. But the Assassin can. The Assassin likes to get in close with its SRMs anyway, which is the best situation for using the bolt-on rockets. One thing you do have to consider when using any kind of bolt-on weapons that have ammo, that weapon is in the center torso. So if that ammo explodes due to overheating or crit, it will deal its damage to the center torso. It's a really good way to lose a mech. And I think actually, as I was saying, the structure quicksell is a way to save some tonnage, but it's not going to save enough tonnage to actually be able to use the SRM-4 instead of the SRM-2. And I'm not super comfortable stripping off armor for it. So I think just putting the bolt-on rockets in place on the Assassin is the best upgrade we can do there.
Logged and noted. Shouldn't be too hard.
Yeah, I don't think the Commando is the right choice for the speedy leg actuator. I think that's actually the Spider. Because the Commando doesn't have as much movement as the Spider. The Spider has 812, so it should be generating, I believe, 5 evasion. And we could bump that up to 6. And it doesn't really have the hard points to use anything else. I mean, the quicksell structure here is actually okay. Because it's the 30 tonner, so it's getting to the point where it has more armor than structure. And something like that is actually a perfect, we're giving it more evasion. Less stability threshold, so it's easier for it to get knocked unsteady. But it should have now 6 evasion. And the structure quicksell, 25% of 25 is roughly 7, I think. So getting +1 evasion basically in exchange for 7 or 8 structure across the board. Well, 12 structure center torso. It's debatable whether this is actually an improvement. If we had Indo or something, the speedy leg actuator would absolutely be an improvement. because giving up the stability in exchange for better speed, or, you know, higher evasion and more maneuverability, very much worth the stability loss, because, I mean, if it gets hit by anything, it's probably going to lose the side torso or something anyway. But I wouldn't actually pull the trigger on that, I don't think. Would I just put it on the commando? How would I do that? Like, I know I said the structure quick sell is terrible on light mechs, because you're giving up a lot. Like, total of 50 structure and armor on the right arm. Losing 5 is a 10% decrease. Total. Wait. Oh, because we don't have the SRM. SRM 4 Valiant. So once again, the structure does save enough to put the speedy leg actuator on. And I think for this specific use of that tonnage, I think the speedy leg actuator is worth the loss of structure points, in my opinion. Because that should bump the commando up from the 4 evasion that we saw to 5 evasion. So, an extra 2 difficulty to hit in exchange for slightly less ability to soak damage, which it doesn't have much of to begin with. So, contrary to what I was just saying a few minutes ago, I do believe this is worth it. So, there we go. That's the commando.
When that's done.
And that's about all we got. I'm trying to think of anything else. I mean, yeah. We got the C3 unit, but we don't have any way to open up that 1 ton. If we had Pharaoh or something to put on the Spider, Commando, or Irby, who are the best 3 candidates for the C3 unit, because they are the most likely to get in and be amongst the enemy units. If we had a way to free up that tonnage, absolutely, it would go in a heartbeat. But it's definitely not worth dropping half of the Spider's damage. So, I mean, we could pile it up on the commando. We absolutely could pile everything up on the commando. Speedy leg actuator, C3 unit, SRM 4 Valiant, and then drop the medium laser. That is entirely viable. And then hopefully with the speed from the speedy leg actuator, it's more easily able to get into the back of a light mech. Use the SRM 6 to open, the SRM 4 to continue damaging and crit out. That is viable. That is viable. Either way works. Like C3 in or medium laser in, both of them are completely viable. And I personally would wait until I have Indo or Pharaoh to put on something to give me the tonnage for the C3. Probably. Although the bonus accuracy given to the entire lance. Yeah, it's a toss-up. I would definitely want to get the C3 on the field. By the way, Probe King Quick Sell, terrible. Absolutely terrible. 30% increased sensor range, 30% increased sight range, 60 meter base sensor range. Sounds great, except you get a penalty of -4 to sensor detection. You generate 6 heat per turn, and you have a 50% increased sensor signature. Which means it's easier for enemies to hit you. Not great. But that is what I would do from that first mission. So that has been the Outworld Alliance on Mechlab Monday. I hope you enjoyed it, and until next time, have a good one.